What is good, YouTube? Quinn Wade basketball analysis coming to y'all with a quick video again for Friday. This is my third one, but we're gonna talk about the breaking news of today. The Chicago Bulls will move forward without Jim Boylen as their head coach, and a lot of people honestly wanted to see this happen as this man has not improved the team, changed the team, or really not that much progress was made with him as a head coach. He was never supposed to be the head coach long term, and we all felt that. We all believed it. And year after year, he has shown that he hasn't been able to get the players in good positions. He hasn't been able to utilize them to their full potential. He hasn't even been able to really change the culture or even help this team win a significant amount of games, even though he does have a lot of talent. The only thing that I can defend him on is a lot of his players, like Dunn and marketing, has missed significant amount of time, and they're very important to this nucleus and this core of what this team is. And I know that him and Zach LaVine didn't always see eye to eye, which is a problem because he's one of your best players on your team and he's your best scorer currently on the roster. But he did do some things like unleashing and trusting in Kobe White, which he was able to get hot. He was able to make him a starter and allow him to get some reps in before the Corona stopped the season. He really did try some things after a lot of people looked at him as a stubborn coach that was too old and into his ways, and he really didn't know how to adapt to the modern day game. And it was true, as he would admit, and as we would know, that a lot of his things that he believed in isn't true anymore. A lot of the things that he was trying to instill isn't modern anymore, and that's a recipe for a disaster when the organization and the players are not on the same page with the head coach. And I feel like that was something that was one of the biggest reasons why people wanted him out. If this team doesn't play with the best with their personnel that they currently have, then you're not really accomplishing anything as a coach, and that's why a lot of people wanted him fired. Because if you can't find a way to make a game plan and implement strategy, and even find ways to get the best out of your players, whether they're great defenders, great scorers, or not, the job of a coach is to put them in positions, but also find ways to get the best out of your players and out of the personnel that you have. And I feel like this team, time and time again, especially this season, underachieved throughout the entire year. Their defense was horrible. Their offense was terrible. Sometimes players don't even play like themselves or not utilized the right way. They're not setting screens. They're not getting space created. And sometimes they just rely on Zach LaVine throwing a bunch of bombs to steal and win games. And hero ball has never been a way to win titles. And I don't feel like Jim Boylen instilled a championship culture. I just feel like he was there just trying to find a way to make his mark by trying things that he thought was right and with things he thought would help. But he never did anything to really motivate these young players. He never did anything to get them to really want to vouch for him, play for him, and go out there and try to, you know, use his strategies and his thoughts to the best of their ability. So I feel like that divide between him and the coaches and the organization was one of the big reasons why I thought Jim Boylen was not going to make it that long as a head coach, just because of his style, his thoughts, and how he went out there and tried to execute how this team was going to play on both ends of the court just wasn't where it needed to be. And it happened a couple years in a row, and a team only going to give you 1 to 2 years to figure it out. And if you don't show signs of improvement or signs of growth, it's so easy to replace a head coach that teams rather fire the coach, as we done seen year after year. They rather get rid of the coach faster than make any big changes to the players. And that's one of the biggest reasons too why we all thought Jim Boylen eventually was going to be fired either this year or the next season, just because he hasn't been able to connect to the players. And even when he does, they butt heads with him. They don't really respect his mind all that much. And even if they try it, they really give up on that and go back to their own habits and their own tendencies, which is a sign that you don't have control over your team and you don't really have the respect from all the players. Because if they did, they would try to go out there and play your style, play your way, and you wouldn't have to really be too preachy just because they love and believe in you as a coach to get them to where they have to be. And he hasn't really shown too much development. Wendell Carter doesn't look like he has developed that much. Laurie Marketing has been up and down and all over the place, but I don't feel like they utilize and get the best out of him. Even though his jump shot hasn't been falling, it doesn't seem like they're putting him in the best position to utilize his talent. Zach LaVine has become, like I said, a hero ball bomber. He can play, he can be utilized in different ways, but instead he's used as the bailout guy. Get the ball to Zach LaVine and get out the way, and hopefully he can take us to heaven. And I don't feel like that's a legitimate way to win, enough games to make it to the playoffs. Just because teams can score and they give up a lot of points because they're not a great defensive team. That Zach LaVine bombing shots isn't a legitimate way, isn't a winning way, and you wouldn't want all your players to rely on one player every fourth quarter to help you win when that's the whole point of having the 12 plus roster, is to try to find a way to use other guys to make this team better. Chris Dunn, I'm interested in what they do with him just because he's going to be a guy that you don't have to pay that much money to, but he's also not good enough offensively to be the starter. So it's just small things on this roster that they're going to have to find with personnel, who they want to keep, who they want to pay, and who they really want to build around, because this team hasn't even won 30 games, and that's just terrible considering that they had the talent to do it the last 2 years, and they haven't even came close to doing it. And I feel like when you look at this team, it's a lot of players that's been underutilized and misutilized, and they're going to need a coach that can find a way to get this roster all on the same page and everybody playing their role and everybody finding ways to make each other better and playing together in general, instead of just letting people do whatever they want to do just because you're trying to find a way to win the game. And that's not what a coach is supposed to do. He's supposed to have control over that, and he's supposed to have control of how the players are going out there performing. And I don't believe Jim Boylen was able to accomplish that either as a head coach. So I think that they need a guy that's going to come in and be serious because they are a young team. They need to learn how to win. They need to learn how to play and trust each other. And I don't feel like they have found that the last couple of years. Even Fred Hoiberg was able to get to the playoffs, but they was never able to get to that contender level after Derrick Rose and Joakim Noah. And a lot of that doesn't have nothing to do with the coach. A lot of that does have to do with the personnel that they decided to make, like trading Jimmy Butler and these guys. They haven't been able to find the right fit that pushes this team over the top. And even though the East isn't that amazing, even though the East isn't that great, the East is getting better. You look at teams like the Magic that can get a little bit more better, especially in free agency. You look at teams like Detroit that's bad, but they still have a chance with a couple trades to be at least a seventh or eighth seed. You look at the Hawks that can be a threat to be a playoff team if they're fully healthy for an 82 game season. And then you look at a team like Chicago that's right in that mix too. But one of these teams are going to take a step forward, and a couple of these teams are going to take a step backwards. And the Bulls had to make this move to ensure that they can get the best out of this roster. And if they need to make a move, they can do it this offseason. And then they still get a high draft pick, too, to add to this team. And that can be used as something to get another piece, or that can be used to get off a contract, or that can be used to get another star to get this thing rolling a little faster and get them back into the playoffs if that's what they decide to do. But they're going to have to figure out, do they want to build with Laurie Marketing and Zach LaVine, who they did trade Jimmy Butler for, or are they going to try to go in a different direction, as they both are basically going to be paid a high amount of salary. And if they can't get the job done as a duo, you got to find a different way and a different strategy to get back to at least the playoffs, and then try to figure everything else out the years after that. But Zach LaVine has shown that he can score, he can close, he can take over games, and Marketing has shown that he can be one of those unicorn players, but he just can't stay healthy, and the jump shot is inconsistent. And guys like Wendell Carter can't stay healthy, and offense hasn't been, and he hasn't been utilized the right way either in his role so far. And with Jim Boylen, I should say, and I think that that can change with another coach. And then you look at Kobe White. Can he continually shoot? Can he continually knock down threes? And can he be a better catch and shoot player? I think that's going to be important for his role. And can his team eventually learn how to play defense as a young team. That's something that, like I said, they're going to need a hard-nosed coach to do, because this team has been one of the worst defensive teams. And even though they do have spacing and shooting, they haven't been able to figure out how to get that all on the same page either with Jim Boylen, as this team only won 22 games this season. And that's a huge disappointment, because a lot of people felt like this team can possibly win enough games to make the playoffs. A lot of people came into this season looking at this Bulls team with all the acquisitions, with all the moves that they made. A lot of people look forward to this team being a team that can make one of those playoff spots at the bottom, whether it's 6, 7, or 8. And they underachieved. They didn't even win 25 games. They didn't even win 30 games, which is unfortunate, just because they did not live up to the hype, and they didn't even come close. They was one of the worst teams in the NBA at the end of the day, and they've been that. Even though they continue to upgrade the talent year after year after year, they continue to disappoint, and they continue to fail and reach those expectations that they set out for themselves and what people set out for them. And it's unfortunate, but they had to figure it out. And I think Jim Boylen, having bolt down offense and inconsistent defense, and really not trying to change or adjust anything to make the changes that's necessary to probably enforce winning. I think that that's one of the number one reasons why he's going too. But other than that, we all knew this was going to happen. We all knew that he'd be gone. We all knew that the Bulls was going to have to go in a different direction if they wanted to start winning, and if they wanted to start, making significant progress when it comes to development. But also, as a team and as a unit in general, this team has underperformed for the last 2 to 3 seasons, and now they have proof that they need a change, and now they have enough to back up what people are saying is true. So, in my personal opinion, I think Boylen should have been gone. He hasn't really done really that much for this team, and he hasn't really did anything that made me want him to have a fighting chance, or he hasn't really gave us a reason for us to be saying he should have another year. If anything, he gave us a reason to say this is the right decision, which is unfortunate, because you really don't want to call for somebody's job. You really don't want to see somebody go out like he just did. But he just was that bad of a coach. But other than that, I like this decision. I want to see them take their time and hire a person that can develop, but not only develop, can instill a winning culture, that can instill some type of creativity to get the best out of this unit of players, and also instills some type of defense, because they're going to have to start learning how to do that if they want to be a serious team in the East. Not just a team that make the playoffs, but we're looking big picture, one of the best teams in the East in the future, but also a team that can win a title. That's the whole point of rebuilding, is to get to the point where you can win it all, not just to make the playoffs, not to just be a good team, but being a team that can also go out there and compete for a title, which they haven't been in a while. But they also do have a chance in the future to get that back if they do the things right, and they build this roster right, and they hire the right people, but also make the right trades and acquisitions that can fit this roster and get the best out of it. And the coach is a big part of that. But other than that, check out my website, analysisplayground.com. Link in the description comment section below. Check out my Facebook page, analysisplayground.com. Link in the description comment section below. Like on Facebook to show support. Also, like I said, I have merchandise on sale, my spread shirt, and then my Facebook page. You can message me on Facebook. I can get it sent out to you, or you can just buy it straight from the spread shirt. Not only that, I make videos every day. I have over 1,000 videos. So if you're new to the channel, you like this video, check out my older videos. And if you like this video, my older video, why not subscribe and become part of the family? I do discussions just like this, top 10 list, playoff predictions. But not only that, I do cover trade deadline, free agency, and the hottest topics, and even summer league. But I also do break down players, legends, and coaches, and rookies, and summer league analysis. So if you like breakdowns, you like discussion, this is the channel for you. Quinn Wade, basketball analysis. I'm going to let me know what you guys think about the Bulls, their future, their roster, and if they can ever get it back right to where they can be champions. Whatever you think, let me know in the comment section below, as I do read every comment. Hopefully you guys enjoy your weekend. I'll be back with my playoff predictions for Saturday. So if you're new to the channel, like I said, check out them older videos. And if you like playoff predictions and you like discussions, this is the channel for you. Enjoy your day. Quinn Wade, basketball analysis. I'm going.